In my camera project, I heavily use inlining of functions and methods. In this video, I want to explain why I am doing this and how to make it actually work. At least with the default compiler optimization parameters, the inline keyword is just a suggestion. The compiler pretty much ignores it. For example, the Adafruit's display library has this SPI write function that also has the inline keyword, but in reality it doesn't do anything. So let's make an example project that demonstrates why it is useful and how to make it work. To make this effect easily visible, I will create a project that creates pulses out of pin 13. So let's start with declaring pin 13 as output. To avoid the overhead of digital write, we are going to use direct port manipulation. The first bit is pin 8, 12, 13. And let's make it pulse. And now let's multiply it by 8. And as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pulses. If we want to do it multiple times, then it is a good idea for better code organization to put it into a function. And let's call it pulse out byte. And now let's call it twice from our main loop. And now, if you look at the oscilloscope image, you can see that there is a gap between the two bytes. Adding inline in front of the function does nothing. The compiler chooses to ignore it. But what we can do is to force the function to be inlined. For that, we have to add this attribute to the function declaration. But when you try to compile it now, it fails. This means we have to add function declaration before the actual function body. Like this. And we can remove the inline parameters from the function declaration. And now, when we compile it, the gap between the bytes disappear. For the next step, let's move this pulse generation to a separate class. So add a new tab. Let's call it pulse generator.h for the header file and pulse generator.cpp for the source file. In the header file, let's declare our class pulse generator with public constructor and copy the same method name for the class. And let's implement the methods in the source file. And now we can declare our pulse generator. And let's call the pulse out byte twice. Since at the moment there is no inlining, the gap is back. So we can add inline keyword in front of the function, but now it does not compile since inline requires the function body to be visible for the caller. And we have to move the function body to the header. But as before, the inline keyword does not have any effect because the compiler chooses to ignore it. And we need to add the attribute for always inline. As you can see, it works again. And we can multiply it 4 times. The benefit of doing this is that you don't waste valuable time for function calls, but the downside is that the same code is copied over and over to the main loop. This means it will take more program space. So this is a trade-off depending if you need speed or need more space. In most cases, you do not have to worry about inlining at all, because the time is not critical. But sometimes when every clock cycle counts, then you can use it as necessary. Thank you for watching.